What's up? It's Dynast again. Just wanted to shoot another video before I go to bed. It's late out here and I am tired. Um, you know all the sites, they're posted below. DynastAmir.com, search for Huru.com, and make sure you go to Amazon.com and search the name Dynast Amir. Wanted to shoot this video on you're not going to rebuild Africa from London or from New York or from Paris. And it's gonna take all hands on deck and everyone actually putting in the work on the motherland itself. And myself included. I'm in Atlanta and I know there's only so much I could do over here in Atlanta. I know that I have to be on a continent as much as possible. You know, that's why I'm gonna start the Africa Challenge, which, you know, if you're serious about Pan-Africanism, you know, if you call yourself conscious, you have to at least go to the continent for at least a month at a time. You know what, at least 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is fair and reasonable. And just start something and do something. Because you're not gonna be able to do it from London, New York, Paris, Atlanta, LA. You know, because the majority of the people that are talking about rebuilding Africa and helping Africa, myself included, like, we don't even live in Africa. We live in the West. You know, I see all these people doing TED conferences and all these conferences over in the West talking about how they're going to rebuild Africa and do this for Africa. But again, you know, where they reside the majority of the time is in Europe or in America, in the West. And the work's not going to get done. You have to be on the ground in Africa, and I've came to that realization. The same way Chinese and Arabs and Europeans, how they sell everything and they move to Africa and they set up shop. It's the same way they do it here in America. You know, and a lot of people might say, well, Dynast, you know, there's all these immigrants that come to America. But I'll tell you this, the difference between, I would say, immigrants, African immigrants, and for example, like Asian immigrants in regards to Chinese and Koreans, is when the Asian immigrants come to America, they're coming to take over. Like they're going to set up their own communities and they're taking over, and they're going to let you know that this is Chinatown, this is Koreatown, you know, this is pretty much not even Koreatown, this is Korea. That just happens to be in LA. Or this is China. That just happens to be in LA. In fact, right now in Koreatown, in LA, I think it's Korean Air, the airline, they're building like the largest building or skyscraper west of the Mississippi. It might be like the second or third largest or third tallest, I'm sorry, the tallest skyscraper west of the Mississippi. You know, in fact, I want to say it's going to be like the third tallest building or structure in America right now in Koreatown. So they're letting you know that, hey, you know, we're drawing our line in the sand. You know, we're leaving our mark. Like, this is not only Koreatown, this is Korea, Los Angeles. And I think the thing about Africans, when they come to America, they're not doing that. Like, Nigerians are trying to build the largest structure in America and letting you know, like, this is Nigeria, America. Same thing with Ghanaians, Kenyans, whomever who come to America. You know, in fact, you know, majority of the time when Africans come to America, it's just because of the lack of opportunity in Africa, which I understand. But they're not trying to go back to Africa and actually build Africa. They want to stay in the West and enjoy everything that the West has to offer. Shopping, you know, shopping and more shopping. Because again, I watched this documentary called Lagos to London, and all they talked about is how they go to London and shop and shop and shop, buy Gucci. You know, the Nigerians talk about how they just buy Gucci and Prada and how they shop and shop and shop. Meanwhile, when Indians come over, when Koreans come over, when Chinese come over, they're like building, like they're setting up Korea London or Korea America. Like you're gonna know that this is Korea. Like they're setting up their own countries in these cities. Meanwhile, you know, Africans, when they come to the West, it's to shop or assimilate for the most part, and not create an African. We need an Africa, you know, a little Africa. You know, in every major city, we need major skyscrapers. I mean, basically, the same way the Koreans are doing in Koreatown, in LA, there needs to be something similar built by Africans, where people will just marvel and say, "Oh my God, these Africans built this! Wow!" But there's nothing like that, and that even goes for Black Americans too. So my thing is, if you're not going to go back to Africa and help rebuild Africa, the least you could do is build Africa where you at, and watch everybody marvel and say, "Oh my God, like wow, look what the Africans built in America. Look what the Africans built in London. Look what the Africans built in Paris." Instead, come over, assimilate, and shop. And talk about all the shopping and popping tags you do. So again, you cannot rebuild Africa from London, Paris, or New York. And if you're serious about rebuilding Africa, go back to Africa at least 2 weeks out of the year. Do the most you can. And in the meantime, if you're in Paris, London, or New York, or anywhere in the West, build Africa where you're at. And may people you just want everybody to marvel and say, wow, like look what these Africans build. You want them jealous, you know, you want them in awe. You want it to be where whenever they come to Little Africa or Little Nigeria, Little Niger, whatever you call it, people are like, oh my God, these Nigerians, these Ghanaians, look what they built. This is amazing. Check me out on social media. Search for Uhuru on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Search for Uhuru. Check out Dynasty Mir on Instagram, the clothing line. Till next time, I'm out.